Good morning, one and all. Welcome to today's class. My earlier video was on the summary of A Wrong Man in Workers' Paradise. Thank you all for the responses. I was very happy to see the likes and subscribes. Hope you will like this video too. If you do like it, please like and subscribe. Do share it. My today's video is on the first poem of Standard 10th, To a Pair of Saurus Cranes. It's written by Manmohan Singh. The poem is written by Manmohan Singh. To a Pair of Saurus Cranes is a story of a male and a female saurus crane. How the male crane was shot dead and how the female crane expresses its grief. The poem is all about a male and a female crane, how the male crane was shot dead and how the female crane expresses its grief. So let us quickly start with the poem. I shall read it stanza wise, paragraph wise, and then explain the first paragraph. The male was shot as he necked to pull the reluctant sun out from the rim of the horizon. Here, the time mentioned in the story is sunrise. The male and the female crane were happily flying in the sky. It so happened that a hunter came there. He shot the male bird. He shot the male saurus crane. The male bird fell dead on the ground. It was struggling for its life. It was stretching its neck in pain. The second paragraph. She flew crying as he was picked up, hands and jaws, and the proud neck was humbled to lie like dirty linen in a coarse washing bag. Here, it is said that when the male bird was shot dead, the female saurus crane flew crying. She saw the hunter picking up the dead body of the male bird. The hunter caught hold of the neck of the male bird and put it in his bag. This holding of the neck of the male bird and putting it in the bag is expressed in this way. It was picked up. The proud neck was humbled to lie like a dirty linen in a coarse washing bag. The hunter picked up the male bird, body of the male bird, by holding its neck like a dirty cloth. The body of the male bird is referred to as the dirty cloth. He caught hold of the neck and he put it in his bag. The bag is referred to as a coarse washing bag. Here, when the male bird was alive, it was proudly flying in the sky. But now when it is shot dead, its humbled neck is caught hold of and the body is put in the coarse washing bag. The next paragraph. She circled the sky in moments of grace over his disgraceful end. The killers went away and she returned to the death scene with grief that inscribed its intensity in dots and pits, like the Morse code of birth sorrow transmitted to the air. So here, the female crane expressed her sorrow, her grief. How did she express her grief? She circled the sky. She circled the sky over where the feathers had fallen. The hunters had already taken away the body of the male bird. The female bird came back to that scene. She returned to that scene where the body was earlier lying. She comes there, she cries in grief to show her sorrow towards the male bird. She comes to the death scene and she expresses her grief by the short and the long cries. Here the short and the long cries of the bird is referred to as dots and pits. The short and the long cry of the bird is referred to as dots and pits. Now the female bird was left all alone. Her grief was transmitted into the air like Morse code. She was left all alone. Here Morse code is a symbolic language. Usually the long and the short cries or flashes of light in order to send the messages. So the third paragraph is how the female crane expresses her grief towards the male. The next paragraph, with her beak she kissed a few feathers, pecked the ones that wind had not taken away, and sat to hatch the blood-stained feathers into a toddling chick. Here, the female crane tries to kiss a few feathers which had fallen here and there. Few feathers the wind had carried away, few feathers were fallen here and there. The female crane tries to sit on these blood-stained feathers and she tries to hatch them, convert them into a toddling chick. Here the imagination is that as the hen sits on the eggs and gives warmth to them and brings them back to the chicks. She converts the eggs into chick. In the same way, the female crane is trying to sit on the blood-stained feathers and trying to bring back the male bird back to its life. The last paragraph. A wave of the seas she had never seen came to her from far away and carried her to him. She went away beyond Hume's words, beyond the legends and fables of human love. Here, there is an imagination. This paragraph is actually an imagination of the female bird. She assumes that a wave of the sea comes and it carries her away to the male partner and hopes she joins the male partner. That is the imagination. She wishes to join the male partner after her death. The story is beyond legends and fables of human love. So what are legends? Legends means the stories of people or event of ancient times that may or may not be true. Legends means the stories of people and events of ancient times that may or may not be true. What is a fable? A fable is a short story with a moral. Fable is a short story with a moral. Like we have the Panchatantra tales, which we all have happily enjoyed in our childhood. So this is the poem of To a Pair of Saurus Cranes. Okay children, then what do we learn from this poem? From this poem we learn that even the birds have liberty to live. Man has no right to kill them. Love exists between birds and animals in the same way as love exists between the humans. We should show our love and affection to them. They too have right to live. That is why it is mentioned in the pre-reading activity that the greatness of a nation and its moral progress can be judged by the way its animals are treated. It was said by Mahatma Gandhi ji. So, the greatness of a nation will lie in the way you treat the animals and the birds. Hope you have understood this poem. If you have really understood it, please do like my video, subscribe and share.